Hello folks, and welcome back to SLE Equipment here in Nashville, Tennessee. Today we're doing the instructional video for this 8.5 by 41 foot Gooseneck custom concession trailer. Indigo blue with silver trim. Let's get into it here. So first thing I want to talk about today is power supply. So before you plug into your unit, please ensure that your power supply is turned off. Once you've ensured the power supply is off, then you can come up here and go ahead and plug your power cord in. All right, so this is a twist lock, so you're going to line it up, push it in, twist to the right, and then you're going to tighten this collar right here. If your cord comes with a collar, some don't. This is our cord that we use here at the shop, so if it comes with a collar on it, you're going to tighten that collar down. If not, no worries, it'll still work. All right, and then you're going to plug the other end into your power source, be it shore power or generator. So this trailer here does come equipped with the generator compartment in the overhead here at the front. And come up here, just kind of give you a look around. And that switch right over there on the wall, that's going to be the switch for your light right there. And then we have 3 roof vents in the top, and you can open and close those. Anytime the unit's in transit, you're going to want to make sure those are closed. So you just turn that knob in the center there to open or close it. Give you a good look inside there. All right. And underneath here we have the 200-pound propane tanks in their propane cages. And then right here in the center, this is where the hydraulics are housed. So you can open this up. And this little arm here, a little more difficult to do with one hand here, but we're going to get it done. There we go. That little arm will hook on right there so that your door panel stays open. And we'll take a look inside here. You can see the two 12-volt batteries in here. The hydraulic system, and over to the arms. There we go. And to let this down, you're simply just gonna push up on that little tab there and then lower that down. All right, pretty simple stuff there. We'll get more into the gas here in a few minutes. For now, we're gonna come on around here. And so right here, there's the key. In here, you can turn this. This is the off position to operate the hydraulics. So turn it on. You can run it up. You can lower it down. Whatever you need to do there. All right. Right here we have a 36 by 36 access panel into the overhead compartment as well. You can see the LED light there. Switch for that is right there on the wall. Alright, so there's that LED light on. Again, that switch is right there. And then up here we have the electrical box. The box up at the top up here next to that is the converter or charger for the 12-volt batteries. And then that box right in the middle of the picture below that charger, that's your fuse box. So if any of your 12-volt accessories are not working, i.e. your interior or exterior LED lights, your water pump, you're going to want to go there first. Check, make sure the fuses are still intact, haven't blown. Nice thing about those panels is there's a light next to it. So if a fuse is blown, it'll have a light lit up next to it. And that is a quick indicator of which fuse is blown. Turn this light back out. All right, and then coming on around. So first up, we have the city water fill box. Simply unlock it, This behind this cap here, this is going to be your freshwater tanks. This is where you're going to fill it. Simply insert the hose, fill your tank. There's 2 tanks on here, so fill both of your tanks, and then once your tanks are full, remove your hose, replace your cap. Pretty simple. If you happen to have access to a city water supply where you can connect that up to the unit, you're going to do that here. You can see it has a screen filter here. It takes a common water hose fitting. You can get food grade hoses that will connect in there, and you can run it that way. If you do that, that bypasses the freshwater tanks, supplies water directly to the faucets and the water heater. So, and then this key will be inside the unit around one of the faucets. All right, next up we have the water heater. It is a propane tankless water heater. It's a Furrion, so I do not recommend doing this if the unit has been in use, because obviously hot, and sometimes it doesn't open quite as easily as you would like it to. You kind of have to grab right there. So, all right, if we flip that door open though, here's your on-off switch right there. Drain line down here, and then for the blowout, there is a fuse in here as well, right there. So if you have an issue with the water heater, you want to check that fuse as well first. All right, line that back up. All right, so we get that lined up. Just push that back in place good. Pull that, twist. You're good to go. Oh, sorry about that. Had the camera turn the wrong way there for a second. All right, next up, we're gonna come down here. We have the waste tank drain. So 3-inch cap, takes a 3-inch hose there. Remove this cap, attach a 3-inch hose. You can get that hose at any RV camper supply center or anywhere on the internet that sells RV camper supplies. Once you've attached your hose, pull your handle out, allow the contents of the tank to drain. When complete, push your handle in, detach your hose, and replace your cap here. All right. Next up, we have the 36 by 78 entry door with bar lock on it, LED light above, and coming on around, we have the 3 7K axle with mag wheels. One thing I want to point out right quick here, in the center of this little cap here, that pops off, and behind that is a grease fitting, and you've got one on all 3 wheels on this side, all 3 on the other side. Once every 10,000 miles or 12 months, whichever comes first, you're going to want to go in, pull that cap off, connect to that grease fitting with your grease gun, and just lube the axles properly. That way it keeps the hubs and bearings in proper working order. All right. And then coming on back here, we have a crank jack, stabilizer jack. So that is exactly what it says, a stabilizer jack. Please do not try to level the unit using the stabilizer jacks on this. You will damage the jack and potentially damage the frame. You're going to do any leveling via the hydraulic legs on the front, raising those up and down, and then side to side you're going to want to put blocks underneath your wheels to level side to side there. All right. I do have this door open just to pull a little extra air with the ventilation system there, but you can see it has a bar lock on it. It is a 48-inch wide by 78-inch tall entry door, LED light above, license plate holder on the back, and then down here at the bottom we have a couple of roller wheels on either side, and these simply keep the back of the unit from bottoming out if you're coming off of an incline or onto a level road. That'll help keep that from bottoming out and damaging the rear end there. All right, give you a look down the side here. And then up here we have another stabilizer jack here. Come on around here. Again, that center cap with the grease fitting in behind it on the 7K axles. Nice mag wheels there. And then here we have the 8-foot concession window with flip-up counter beneath it. LED lights on either side. One quick thing I want to show you about these windows. So this one has sliding windows on both top and bottom. You can see that one slide up there. There's another window behind here, and then a screen right here in front. There's the handle for the screen. So anytime you have, these were down already, so I just left them down. But you want to make sure that these windows are open, at least on the bottom or the top, doesn't matter really. If you're in the trailer working though, you're probably going to want the windows in the up position. But you're going to need to have them, the windows themselves, open so that air can be pulled through for the grease hood there. All right, and then to lower this flip-up counter here, to press a latch, press the other latch, and then you can lower it down with one hand there. It's a pretty simple operation there. You can see the counter in its down position. All right, so before we talk about this gas, let's talk about the steps we need to take. So A, we need to make sure our concession window is up, and that, as I said, you have openings in the glass there so the air can flow through there. And then we're going to come on around here. And we'll come inside the unit here. Next thing you're going to do, come right here on the wall just inside the entry door. You see these 4 switches. So there are 3 exhaust fans on this unit. So 3 of those switches go to the fans. 1 switch goes to the lights that are on the 2 grease hoods here. So, and then the lights all come on with the unit, or with the hoods. All right, so once we've turned on our grease hood, now we're going to come here. We're just simply going to check, make sure all of our knobs are in the off position here. And we're just verifying that all of these are turned off. Same thing down here, 3 knobs. And then on our fryers, check our knob here, and then the pilot light knob should be in the off position as well. Once we've verified all that, now we're ready to go back outside the unit and turn the gas on. Alright, now that we're back under here, so what we're going to do is, first thing you're going to do is you're going to come here to your tank. You're going to go to your knob right there, and you're just going to open this valve all the way. Alright, so you're going to turn that all the way open. Once you've done that, you're going to, right here where it says vent, you're going to kind of listen right there, make sure you don't hear any gas hissing out, and make sure you don't smell an abnormal amount of propane. If at any time you smell an abnormal amount of propane, shut the tank back off and contact your local gas company. Chances are your regulator's gone bad, so you'll need to get that serviced. However, if that checks out, then you're ready to go to the next step, which is simply open the valve there. You can see now that valve is in line with the gas line. That indicates it's open. If it's not in line like that, that valve is closed. All right, so you're going to open that up. When you do, you're going to hear an initial whoosh of gas come through here. That's all you should hear. If you hear gas continuously running through here, then shut it back off, go back inside, check your valve, or check your knobs on your equipment, make sure they're all in the off position. All right, potential that you missed one or accidentally bumped into one as you were checking things, or you got caught doing something else for a few minutes and somebody else turned one on, whatever the case is. But at that point, I'm sorry, if you hear gas continuously running, you're going to want to turn this off, then go check. Then come back out here, turn this back on, listen for gas to be continuously running again, and then if not, go on to the, now you're ready to go in and light. If you do, shut this back off, shut your tank back off, contact your local gas company, have them come out and service the unit. There's an ending, you have gas flowing somewhere that it really shouldn't be at that point. All right, now I will tell you, on this unit I could lightly hear gas running in here, and I've checked it, I've tested it. It's normal. It's not creating an abnormal amount of gas inside the unit. So you may lightly hear it running here, but you'll get to notice if it's different. If it is different, you're going to want to track the one thing I want to show you here. These lines run underneath the unit. So the lines run underneath the trailer. We have to do that, but it does open up for the potential of, during transit, road debris, rocks, chunks of metal, wood, rubber, whatever, to kick up off the road, hit that line and potentially rupture it. So you just want to make sure that, like I said, if you hear an abnormal amount of gas, you'll lightly hear it, but if it's more than just a little bit of gas running through this line, shut it back off, shut everything down, contact your local gas company, have them come out and service the unit. All right, better safe than sorry. However, turn this on, you hear the initial whoosh of gas, you just lightly hearing gas running through here. Now you're ready to go inside and fire everything up. We are running off of our supplied tank today, so let's go in here and take a look at it here. Alright, now that we're inside here, you are going to need a barbecue stick lighter to light up some of the equipment, not all. We're going to start down here at the end. So first up, we have our Royal 36-inch 6-burner grill, just 6-burner range. So to light the pilot lights on this is a free-flowing pilot light. So you're just going to take your stick lighter, come right down here, stick it up to the pilot light there and light it up as you see there. And you're going to repeat that on each burner, as each burner has its own pilot light. Alright. Once you've got all those lit, then you're ready to go there. Now I'm going to demonstrate these burners for you. We're going to come to our US range 72-inch griddles. We have 2 of them, and these are sitting on top of a 30 by 72 equipment stand. Stainless steel top, got a undershelf on both of these, and then this griddle down here is sitting on a 30 by 36 equipment stand. Stainless steel top, galvanized undershelf. Now for this US range, really simple to light. Come right here, push your igniter button, and you see the blue flame in there. And you're going to do that on each one of these. You have 6 burners on here. There's the pilot light. There's that one. That one, and that one. And then you're going to repeat that process all down through here on the second one. I've already got these all lit. see if I can demonstrate this. There we go. Now you can see that burner kick on. There's that one. There's that one. To operate these, just simply push in and turn. That's high flame. See it going there. Push in, turn the flame down for temperature control. And turn it off. Shut this back door. We're starting to get some rain here. Alright. There's our griddles. Both of our griddles and our 6-burner range. And then for the steam well, same thing. You're going to take your barbecue stick lighter. You're going to stick it up there. And you're going to ignite all your pilot lights. And then I'll demonstrate these. Alright. Next up, oh sorry, this is our Eagle 3-well steam table. Next up, we have the 2 Royal 50-pound fryers. To light these are manual as well. So we're going to, again, off position, come down here. You're going to push this in and turn it from off to the L on pilot, where it's lined up. Back. There you go. You can see where the L on pilot is lined up with that little red dot there. Once you've lined that up, you're going to push and hold this button. You're going to probably have to hold it for about a minute or so. Then at that point, take your stick lighter, reach up there and light that pilot light. You may have to hold the flame there for another 10-15 seconds for it to stay going while you're continuing to hold the pilot button in. Once it stays lit on its own without you having to hold the stick lighter up there, while still holding the pilot button in, continue to hold that button for about another 20 to 30 seconds. You'll see that starting to glow there. After about 20 to 30 seconds, slowly depress off that button. If it stays lit, you're good to go. If not, just simply repeat that process until it does stay lit. These Royals are pretty good about staying lit. And then you're going to come back down here once that pilot light is lit, stays lit, and you're going to turn that to the on position like you see there. Alright, and then I'm going to demonstrate this one. Oh. Well, my pilot light went out, so. This is a 2-hand process, so bear with me a second. Alright, so we got our pilot light, stays lit. Turn it to the on position. Now we're ready to demonstrate this. There we go. Alright, Same thing on this one. Press and hold. Get your pilot light lit. Went out on. Alright. So now we have the pilot light lit. We've turned this back to the on position. And then we're going to demonstrate this one. There you go. See that one working there. Pilot light's still there. Alright. Alright. Next up, we have the Royal double stack convection oven. So to operate this, I'm going to go through all the switches here. So you have the light switch, press and hold, it stays on. If you release that switch, it goes out, okay? And you have a high-low selection on your fan, power button, flip it up to turn it on. Then you have a timer down here. So, and then come up here, turn to your desired temperature setting. That turns your burner on. You can see the light on there. You're good to go. All right. And the same thing down here. Turn the burner on. And again, you're good to go. Alright, same switches on that one. I'll show you the inside here. If you pull one door, this opens up. You have your 5 racks in there. You can set those whatever spacing you desire there. Alright, I'll turn this one off. Alright, let's go around the rest of the trailer here to take a look at the rest of what we have here. So, up here we have a 7-foot, about 48-inch grease hood. See, it comes all the way out to the center here. It's above the fryers in the double convection oven. That's why it's so deep. And then the filter's in place there. So, in here and behind this blue piece of paper here, there are 2 grease cups and then a box. Inside that box are 2 mounting brackets and 4 nuts. So you're going to slide those mounting brackets over those 2 studs right there, and then set your grease cup in there and put those nuts over top of it, screw those down to hold it in place, and you have 2 more down on that end as well. And then here we have the 16-foot long by 36-inch grease hood. See it there? Same thing, grease cups, brackets and nuts. You're going to mount on both ends, here and here. This is the old or the new style hood where it doesn't have the trough below it. For the concession trailers, food trailers, it has the trough built in at the bottom there, so the grease is going to drain out right there into your grease cup there. All right, on both ends. And then with these filters, minimum once a week. I would recommend more often than that. You're going to need, depending on how much cooking you're doing, with 12-foot of griddles and 2 fryers, 6 burners down there, you're probably going to produce a pretty good amount of grease. So I would suggest every day, every other day, something along those lines. Just need to keep an eye on your filters and how much grease you're building up on them. But you'll need to pull the filters out regularly and wash them with soap and hot or warm water. Hot water may be best just to get all that grease off there. To pull them out, you're simply going to lift up, tilt the bottom out, and then lower down. And to put it back in, you're going to go slot it in at the top, push the bottom in, and then drop down into place. All right. When you do, you want to make sure that your crack in between your filters is as tight as possible. That way it avoids large chunks of grease from being able to get in behind the filters and build up inside the hood, potentially cause a grease fire. And also stops large debris or pieces of debris, paper or whatever, from getting sucked in there and potentially damaging your fan as well. And then you can see the fire suppression system here. So we have 2 nozzles above the 6 burners here. 1 nozzle on this end of the first griddle, nozzle on the second end here. You can see it's pointing back toward the middle of the griddle, and then this nozzle for the left side of the second griddle, and this nozzle here for the right side of the second griddle, and then 1 nozzle for each fryer right there, and then there is 1 nozzle up here above the double stack convection ovens. All right, coming on down here with the fire suppression system. Right above the entry door here, the front of the trailer, we have the control head. So if you needed to manually discharge the system, you do that here. Simply grab this pin, looks like a fire extinguisher. Grab the pin, give a good firm pull, breaking that seal there, and then once you've done that, you're going to flip this handle up to the left, and that's going to discharge that system. You're probably going to want to exit the system or the unit at that point. Down here on the floor, we have the 2 chemical suppressant tanks that hold all the chemical suppressant for the fire suppression unit. And then next to that, we have the 2 fire extinguishers. One is a Class ABC, just a good, in general, all-around fire extinguisher. The other is a Class K fire extinguisher. Class K extinguishers are required in every commercial kitchen in all 50 states. So we provide that as part of the fire suppression package here at SLE. All right, and these tanks are mounted to the wall there. You can see the bracket in behind them there. And then right behind the double convection ovens beside the tanks, we have the gas valve here. So if the system discharges, whether you do it manually or it does it on its own, that gas valve will shut off gas to the unit here, not allowing any gas to flow beyond that point. So it does shut off that fuel source for the fire. And again, one thing, if the system does discharge, you're going to want to exit the unit and go up to the front of the trailer and shut that gas off manually at the tank as well. All right. If at any point you enter into the trailer or you're inside the trailer and you start smelling an abnormal amount of propane, you need to exit the trailer immediately. Shut the gas off. Leave the exhaust fans on. Leave the windows open. Shut that gas off at the front of the trailer on the tanks, and let that gas dissipate. If you start to smell an abnormal amount of gas, okay. Now, one thing, another part of the fire suppression package that we provide here at SLE is a carbon monoxide and explosive gas alarm. So it does have a battery for it. That battery is here. It'd be dead if I put it in there now by the time possession of the unit was taken. It also has the owner's manual here. I would highly advise giving that a good thorough look through. Any codes that this thing registers, they're going to be defined for you inside the manual here, so you'll need to familiarize yourself with those codes. There you can see the carbon monoxide alarm, explosive gas alarm working. Here in a moment, it'll flash over to 0, just signifying it's not detecting any carbon monoxide. And then after that, it'll flash over to LB if we talk about it long enough, or leave it plugged in long enough, and it'll beep when it does. LB does mean low battery, so again, the battery's not in it. We're not going to leave it in long enough to get to that, but you can take the back off of this, and the battery goes over here on this side. On this side, there is a cord to the plug here. This plug pulls out So you can have it plugged into the wall and the unit mounted wherever on the wall. You don't want to be within, you want to try to have it about 6 foot away from any gas unit. So maybe down here, about this second plug down, or this last one down beside the warmer here would be a good spot for it. And there is a mounting kit over here and this side as well for if you want to mount it on the wall, or you can do like I had it and plug it directly into the wall there. All right, let's go around and look at the rest of the unit here. So starting right here on the front, inside of the concession window here, we have an 18-inch wide built-in countertop. It's stainless steel. It's 8 foot long with cabinets below. A couple of doors here on the cabinets for extra storage space. Show you through there. A great place to put a point of sale on top of here. We do have a plug right here next to it, and as we go around looking at the unit, we're going to look at these plugs as well. 2 lights on indicates it's working, so it is. And then we're going to come down here. Next up we have the 12.5, maybe 13 foot long overhead shelf here. Looks to be about 12.5 foot. I take that back. I do believe that is 13 foot long. We have that there, and then with the steam table underneath it, and then next to it we have about a 9 foot long stainless steel worktop surface here with cabinets underneath, and then 3 drawers here. So the drawers are locked, so you simply switch that over. There we go. Just a little stiff there at the first, but so this is the unlock position, this is the lock position. Now these drawers won't open any further than that. And then again, our cabinet door here. Storage space there. We'll check these 2 lights. All right, next up we have the Atosa 18-pan warming cabinet. Take a look inside there. And we'll turn this on. You see it power on there, and you see it showing 87.4 degrees. It is quite warm here. And then here's your temperature control knob right there. There's a manual inside, and it's plugged into its own outlet there, so we know that outlet is working as well. Next up we have the Asper 49 cubic foot double door refrigerator. I'll show you, it's sitting at a nice warm 34 degrees. Take a look inside here. Now the shelving for it is all down here, and then right there, there's some more hardware inside this box here. That set of keys that you see inside the instruction manual, that will be in the bottom there, but that set of keys are for these locks here, so that you can lock the doors anytime the unit is in transit. Keeps the doors from being able to open. And that is on its own outlet as well. And on the inside of the 48-inch rear entry door, it is does have the window RV style entry door there with a screen door, so you can have You can have your door open, and then this shuts so that you can keep bugs out. You will need to prop that door if you have the grease hood on, like we do now, the exhaust fans. That air draw will pull it shut, as you just heard. Alright, check this outlet here. And as you can see with this unit, it does have the aluminum mill walls all throughout. Aluminum mill ceiling. And then it has, right here we have an exhaust vent, or a roof vent, with an electric fan. And open and close that vent, just simply turn that knob there. You see that fan is on right now. LED light strip at the back there. Another one just past the roof vent. There's a third and a fourth. And then we have another electric fan roof vent here. And light number 5 and light number 6 here on the interior. Alright. And then up here at the front, we have overhead cabinetry above the sinks here. 3-bay wash, or 3-bay sink with drain boards on either end. Hand wash station there. Cabinets underneath the sink. And I'll show you all these cabinets. And then this switch right here is our on-off switch for the water pump. That will need to be on anytime you turn the water on. I'll show you inside the cabinets here, above the sinks. And then below the sinks, this is where you're going to find the inside of the water heater here. One of the 30-gallon freshwater tanks. You're also going to find here is the blowout line with the air fitting on it there. You'll get the winterization process in a separate video, but that's where you're going to hook up for that. And then this line here drains through the floor. This is the drain for the freshwater tanks. So you just simply open that handle, get it in line, and then there's a line right there, and that is the freshwater tank line, supplying water directly to the water pump and water heaters. And then in behind this side, you see valves on these two before they come in together again. Again, handles in line, that means the valve is open, water can flow through. And there's the second 30-gallon freshwater tank there. The water pump is also underneath here. I believe it's in this corner. Oh, right back here behind. So there's our water pump right there. Alright. For that water heater. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. And then here on this wall, we have the light switches for all the 12-volt lights, interior and exterior here. So this one switch by itself is for the interior lights, and then these all control the exterior lights around the unit. Another outlet here, so we'll check it. Good to go there. The double stack unit is plugged into 2 separate outlets there. We demonstrated both of those working, so we know those function properly as well. Alright, let's check out the water here. So, as you can see, did not turn on the water pump. Get the water pump turned on. It'll take a minute to get the water flowing through the line here. There we go. Alright, once you see this consistent, steady flow of water, now you know that the water is flowing. All the lines are full, all the air is out of the lines, and the water heater is full as well. Now we'll come over here, a couple of sets of keys right there. Demonstrate this side. demonstrate this. Now I do want to talk about, so this is the thermostat controls for the water heater. So you have your on off button there, temperature setting up, down. So you can turn that up. 122 works. You can see by the light there, it is turned on. It's set to Fahrenheit for the temperature reading, and then where it says flame right there, anytime you turn the hot water on, when you see that light, that flame light up, that tells you that the water heater is lit and it is active. So now our water temperature should be up to 122. So let's get a reading on it here. I would hold the thermostat under the water. There we go, 122, on the money. So as you can see, the water heater is functioning properly, giving proper readouts, and now that flame button's gone because I turned the water off, so it's no longer operating. So it is an on-demand system there. All right. We've gone over all of our equipment now and everything that's in the trailer. So let's talk about shutdown procedures. So, first thing we're going to go over with shutdown is the gas. It is the most important thing we can talk about for shutdown. So, I'm going to start with these fryers here. Actually, with the convection ovens, when you turn those off, that turns off the gas burners and stuff to it. So, that is done. With the fryers, we're going to come down here. We're going to make sure our knob is in the off position. And then we're going to come here to the pilot light button. We're going to push that in a little bit, turn that to pilot, and then push in one more time, turn it to off. And then we're just going to visually verify that our pilot light is out. It is. So we're good there. And we're just going to repeat that process on this one. And then visually verify that it's off. That flame is out, we're good there. With our griddles and our range down here, those are free-flowing pilot lights, so once they are lit, they are going to continue to burn until the gas is turned off to the unit. Alright. Same thing with our steam table, that will continue to burn until the gas is turned off. You can see the pilot light, the reflections of the lights flickering there. So we're just going to verify that all of our knobs are in the off position on the griddles and on the burner, 6 burner down there. We did. So now at this point we're ready to exit the unit. And we're going to go out here and shut all the gas off. Now just keep in mind, once you shut this gas off, you won't have hot water either. So if you need hot water, you won't have that. So you'll need to, if you leave the gas on so that you can maintain hot water, you will need to leave on your exhaust fans the entire time. All right, now that we're here, so we're gonna come here to our tank, and we opened this valve all the way, so we're gonna close this valve all the way. Once that's done, I like to come here second and then shut that off. All right. And now at this point, we can go back inside the unit, and it will take a minute or two for the gas that's in the line to burn completely off. So while we're waiting on that, we'll talk about some other items with shutdown and startup procedures. Here. We want to make sure our grease hood and our concession window stay open. The grease hood stays on until we have verified that all of the gas is burned out, completely shut off inside the unit. That way we don't have gas potentially building up inside the unit with no real venting to get it out. All right, so right here is the sticker. It's on the entry door at the front of the trailer. It just goes over some safety guidelines and procedures, general safety and maintenance type items at the top. Then it's going to talk about startup and shutdown procedures. Majority of that is going to be pertaining to the gas, and then before transit. I do recommend that anyone working inside this unit reads this over very well. Learn it, know it by heart. Safety is paramount. So, and then before transit, it's going to talk about things like check your lug nuts, tire pressure on every wheel and tire. Make sure that all your power cords, drain hoses, water hoses, any of that kind of stuff is turned off before putting the unit in transit. Make sure your stabilizer jacks are raised up. Make sure your concession window is shut down, doors are shut, bar locks in place to ensure that the doors don't open up, things of that sort. All right, so again, I do highly recommend that every person that's going to be working inside this trailer is asked to read that. You may even want to have them sign off on something stating that they've read and understand. All right. All right. Let's check all of our appliances here. Make sure all of our gas is off. These pilot lights are all burned out. So we're good on our steam table. And then we're just going to verify on our range here that all of these are out. Simply look in that hole where we were able to see the pilot light lit earlier. You're not seeing it now, so that tells you that it is out. And then on our burners, we're just going to look and make sure that everyone is out. And I will warn you here, I'm probably kind of showing you, as the gas available to burn gets low, the pilot light will get very low and faint, so it can be hard to tell, but just a couple of minutes and I promise it'll be all burned off and you're good to go. So at this point now we can shut off our grease hoods safely, knowing that we will not have to worry about any gas building up inside here because it is turned off on the unit there. All right, that's going to do it for this instructional video today. Oh, one last thing, we do have the rubber tread plate flooring here throughout the unit. If you're interested in a unit like this one, as this one is sold, is built specific for a specific customer, but if you're interested in a unit like this one, maybe the same setup or a variation in the setup, or any other units that we have here at SLE, please give us a call. We'd be glad to work with you, help you build the trailer of your dreams. To the owner of this one, you have a very nice trailer here. Congratulations. Thank you for doing business with us, and thank you to everyone who does business with us.